A detective knocked on my door and said, "Your adopted daughter has been reported missing by her biological parents." I stared at the badge. Detective Lorraine Kemp. Behind her, a patrol car with lights off. My daughter Zara was in the backyard. I could hear her laughing. "What did you just say?" My voice came out wrong. Too high. Detective Kemp didn't blink. "We need to talk about Zara. May I come in?" I stepped back. She walked past me into the living room, eyes scanning everything. The family photos, Zara's drawings on the fridge, her backpack by the door. "When did you adopt her?" Kemp asked. "Not your daughter. Just her. 4 years ago. She was 3. Why are you asking me this? Where did you adopt her from?" "Harmony Family Services in Michigan. We have all the paperwork." "What's going on?" Kemp pulled out her phone. Showed me a photo of a little girl, maybe 2 years old. Dark curls, bright smile. My stomach dropped. "Who was that?" "Her name is Aria Thatcher. She was abducted from her home in Pennsylvania 4 years ago. Her parents have been searching ever since." I looked at the photo again. Really looked. "That's not Zara. Her parents saw your Facebook post last week. Zara's birthday party. They recognized her immediately. Lots of kids look similar. This is insane." Kemp zoomed in on the photo. On the child's shoulder, barely visible. A birthmark. Port wine stain. Shaped like a maple leaf. Exactly like Zara's. The room tilted. "No. The Thatchers say their daughter has an identical birthmark. Same location, same shape. This is a mistake. Our adoption was legal. Completely legal." But my voice was shaking because memories were flooding back. How fast the adoption had happened. How the caseworker Monica Vale had rushed everything through. How we'd never met the birth mother. How we'd paid $40,000 and didn't question it because we were desperate. 3 miscarriages, 3 years of trying. Then suddenly, miraculously, a beautiful 3-year-old girl who needed a home. "I need to see your adoption documents," Kemp said. "Now." I went to the office, hands trembling. Pulled out the file. Every paper we'd signed. Every certificate. Every document that said Zara was ours. Kemp photographed each page. Her expression changed. Got harder. "Mrs. Holloway, did you know that Harmony Family Services closed 3 years ago?" The floor dropped out. "What?" "The agency is under FBI investigation for adoption fraud. The founder, Monica Vale, is in custody. She falsified documents and sold children to families who paid premium fees." I grabbed the desk. My legs weren't working right. "You need to call your husband," Kemp said. "And you need a lawyer. Today." "Wait, just wait. You're saying someone stole a child and we accidentally adopted her?" "I'm saying the Thatcher's daughter disappeared 4 years ago. You adopted Zara 4 years ago through an agency that's now under investigation for child trafficking, and Zara matches every physical detail of their missing daughter. But she's my daughter. I've raised her. She doesn't remember anyone else. That's why I need to talk to her. Right now." Kemp stood. "Where is she?" Through the window, I saw Zara throwing a ball for our dog Bailey, her face bright with joy, completely unaware that her entire world was about to explode. "You can't do this. She's 7 years old. She won't understand. The Thatchers have been searching for 4 years. Every day she's with you is another day they don't have their daughter back. She is my daughter." The words came out as a scream. Kemp's expression softened slightly. "I'm sorry, but I need you to call her inside." I walked to the back door, opened it. "Zara, honey, can you come here for a minute?" She ran over, Bailey at her heels. Then she saw the detective and stopped. "Mama, who's that?" That word, mama. She'd called me that for 4 years. First tentatively, then with complete trust. Now some stranger was going to tell her it was all a lie. "This is Detective Kemp. She needs to ask you some questions." Zara climbed onto my lap, her small body tense. Kemp knelt down. "Hi, Zara. I need to ask you about when you were really little. Before you lived here. Do you remember anything?" Zara shook her head, buried her face in my shoulder. "Do you remember anyone who took care of you before your mom?" "No. Just Mama and Papa." "Any other houses? Other people?" "No." Zara's voice was getting smaller, scared. Kemp tried for 10 more minutes. Got nowhere. Zara had no memories before age 3. Nothing about the Thatchers. Nothing about being taken. Nothing but our family. When Kemp finally left, she turned at the door. "The Thatchers want to meet Zara. Soon. And Mrs. Holloway?" She paused. "DNA testing is scheduled for tomorrow. If it's a match, this situation changes fast. You should prepare yourself." The door closed. I stood there holding Zara, my whole body shaking. That night, after Zara fell asleep, I called Neil in Seattle. Told him everything. He was silent for so long I thought the call dropped. "That's impossible," he finally said. "Our adoption was legal. They can't just take her. They have a photo, Neil. Same birthmark, same everything. And the agency is under investigation for child trafficking. We didn't know. We didn't do anything wrong. That might not matter." I heard him breathing on the other end, processing. "I'm getting the first flight home. Don't talk to anyone else without a lawyer. Promise me." "Okay." But after we hung up, I pulled up Facebook. Found the birthday post that had destroyed our lives. Zara blowing out candles. Her shoulders bare in her summer dress. The birthmark clearly visible. 847 shares. One of those shares had reached the Thatchers. One photo had ended everything. I deleted it, then sat there crying because deleting a photo wouldn't delete what was coming. The DNA test happened at the police station the next morning. Zara didn't understand why someone was swabbing her cheek. I told her it was like a doctor's visit. She believed me because she trusted me completely. That trust was about to be shattered. Detective Kemp said the results would take 3 days. 3 days to know if my daughter was actually someone else's child. 3 days to prepare for losing her. Neil came home that night. We held each other in the dark while Zara slept between us. Didn't talk. There was nothing to say. On the second day, a social worker named Delilah Ramos came to our house, looked around, asked invasive questions about our home, our income, our relationship with Zara. This is protocol in potential custody disputes, she said, but the way she said it made clear she already knew how this would end. The Thatchers have been cooperating fully. They've provided 4 years of documentation showing they searched for their daughter. Police reports, private investigators, therapy records, they never stopped looking. We've been her parents for 4 years, I said. That has to count for something. Ramos's expression was sympathetic but firm. If the DNA matches, the law is clear. Biological parents have superior rights, especially in cases involving illegal adoption. We didn't know it was illegal. That may protect you from criminal charges. It won't help you keep Zara. After she left, I went to Zara's room, looked at everything we'd built together. Her bookshelf full of stories we'd read 100 times. Her art supplies from the painting classes I'd taken her to. Her collection of rocks from our hikes. 4 years of memories. 4 years of being her mother. All about to be erased. The call came on day 3. Detective Kemp's voice was flat. The DNA is a match. Zara is biologically Arya Thatcher. I'm sorry. I hung up without responding. Sat on the kitchen floor. Neil found me there 20 minutes later, still holding the phone. They're sure? He asked. I nodded. Couldn't speak. What happens now? They take her. My voice came out broken. The biological parents want to meet tomorrow. Neil punched the wall, left a hole in the drywall. Then he slid down next to me, and we sat there in silence while our daughter watched cartoons in the next room, completely unaware that tomorrow she'd meet the strangers who were about to take her away from us. That night, I lay next to Zara after she fell asleep, memorized her face, the way her eyelashes fanned across her cheeks, the small scar on her chin from falling off her bike, the birthmark that had destroyed everything. My phone buzzed. A text from Detective Kemp. The Thatchers want to meet at 10 a.m. tomorrow at the station. They're bringing their lawyer. You should too. I turned the phone off. I wasn't ready. Would never be ready. But at 9:45 the next morning, we were in our lawyer Hiroshi Tanaka's office. He'd reviewed everything overnight. His face told us what we already knew. If they push for custody, they'll win. Your adoption was based on fraudulent documents. Legally, you have no claim. She doesn't remember them, Neil said. She's been with us for 4 years. That has to matter. In family court, biological ties usually trump everything else, especially when the child was taken illegally. We didn't take her. We adopted her. The distinction may not matter to a judge. Tanaka paused. I'm sorry. This is the worst-case scenario. The meeting at the police station was in a small conference room. Detective Kemp was there. Delilah Ramos. A child psychologist named Dr. Yolanda Pierce. And 2 people I'd never seen before but instantly hated. David and Simone Thatcher. They looked like they'd been through hell. Simone's hair was gray at the temples despite being maybe 40. David's eyes had dark circles so deep they looked bruised. They stared at the photo of Zara on the table like they were starving and it was food. Thank you for coming, Simone said. Her voice shook. We know this is devastating for you, but she's our daughter. We've been searching for 4 years. Her name is Zara, I said. Not Arya. Zara. We named her Arya, David said quietly. Arya Christine Thatcher. We chose that name before she was born. I wanted to scream that she'd been Zara longer than she'd been Arya, that she wouldn't answer to any other name, that they were strangers to her. But Dr. Pierce interrupted. We need to discuss the reunification process. Zara has no memory of her biological parents. This transition needs to be gradual and carefully managed to minimize trauma. Trauma? I laughed, and it came out bitter. You're going to rip her away from the only parents she's ever known and you're worried about trauma? Simone flinched. We're her parents. She was stolen from us. We adopted her legally. We didn't know. Your ignorance doesn't change the fact that you've had our daughter for 4 years while we've been dying inside. Simone's voice broke. Do you know what it's like to put your child to bed and wake up to find her gone? To search for 4 years? To plan her funeral twice because we thought she must be dead? The pain in her voice was real. Raw. I forced myself to remember that they were victims too, but it didn't make me hate them any less. What's the reunification plan? Neil asked. His voice was hollow. Dr. Pierce pulled out a document. We start with supervised visits. Short at first. 30 minutes. The Thatchers will meet Zara in a neutral location with you present. We gradually increase contact while decreasing your presence. And then, eventually overnight visits, then custody transfer. How long? My voice was barely a whisper. 4 to 6 weeks. Typically. 6 weeks. I had 6 weeks left as Zara's mother. Simone was crying now. David had his arm around her. They looked like people who'd been underwater for 4 years, and were finally breaking the surface. I wanted to feel sorry for them. Instead, I felt rage. The first visit was scheduled for the next day. A community center with a playground. 30 minutes. We were supposed to introduce Zara to some friends and see how it went. That night, I tried to explain to Zara that she'd be meeting some new people tomorrow. She asked if they were nice. I said yes, even though I wanted to say no. They're here to take you away from me. She asked if Bailey could come. I said no. She pouted but accepted it because she trusted me. That trust was a knife in my chest. The next morning, we drove to the community center in silence. Zara chattered about wanting to play on the swings, didn't notice Neil's white knuckles on the steering wheel or my hands shaking in my lap. The Thatchers were already there, waiting on a bench. Simone stood when she saw us, her whole body trembling. David put a hand on her arm, steadying her. Dr. Pierce met us at the entrance. Remember, this is just an introduction. Let Zara set the pace. No pressure. We walked over. Zara held my hand tight. She could sense something was wrong. Zara, honey, these are Mr. and Mrs. Thatcher. They wanted to meet you. Simone knelt down, tears already streaming. Hi, sweetheart. We've been looking forward to meeting you. Zara pressed against my leg. Hi. David's eyes were locked on her face like he was memorizing every detail. You've grown so much. You're so beautiful. Zara looked up at me, confused. Mama, why is he crying? 'Cause you're his daughter and he hasn't seen you in 4 years. Because we stole you, even though we didn't know it. Because everything is about to fall apart. He's just happy to meet you, I managed to say. Simone pulled out a stuffed rabbit from her bag. This was yours when you were little. We kept it. We hoped we'd be able to give it back to you someday. Zara took it cautiously, examined it. It's old, 4 years old. You used to sleep with it every night. You called it Bun Bun. Something flickered across Zara's face. Recognition? Memory? Then it was gone. I have a dog named Bailey, she said. He sleeps with me now. Simone's face crumpled, but she nodded. I'd love to hear about Bailey. They talked for 30 minutes. Stilted, awkward conversation. Zara warmed up slightly, chattering about school and her friends. The Thatchers hung on every word like it was oxygen. When time was up, Simone asked if she could hug Zara. Zara looked at me for permission. I nodded, even though it killed me. Simone held her for maybe 10 seconds. When she pulled back, she was sobbing. Thank you for taking care of her, Simone said to me. I know this is impossible for you, but thank you for loving her when we couldn't. I didn't trust myself to speak, just nodded. In the car, Zara asked why Mrs. Thatcher was so sad. I said she just really liked meeting her. Zara accepted this because she was 7 and trusted me to tell her the truth. That trust was getting harder to bear. The visits increased, twice a week, then every other day, an hour each time. The Thatchers brought toys, books, photos of their house, tried to build connection. Zara was polite but distant. She didn't remember them. To her, they were just nice strangers who gave her presents. After 2 weeks, Dr. Pierce said we needed to start telling Zara the truth. She needs to understand who the Thatchers are before we move to overnight visits. She's 7, I said. How do we explain that her entire life is a lie? Carefully, honestly, with support. That night, Neil and I sat Zara down. My throat was so tight I could barely breathe. Sweetheart, we need to talk to you about something important. About the Thatchers. The nice people with all the toys? Yes. The thing is... I couldn't say it. The words stuck in my throat. Neil took over. Zara, you know how you were adopted? How you came to live with us when you were 3? She nodded. We'd always been honest about the adoption. Mr. and Mrs. Thatcher are your birth parents. They're your biological mom and dad. Zara looked confused. But you're my mama and papa. We are. And we always will be. But the Thatchers are your biological parents. You lived with them when you were a baby. I don't remember them. We know, but they remember you. And they love you very much. They've been looking for you for a long time. Zara was quiet for a moment, processing. Then, do I have to go live with them? I wanted to lie. Wanted to say no, of course not, you're staying with us forever. Instead, we're figuring that out, honey. But you'll be spending more time with them. I don't want to. I want to stay here with you and Bailey. She started crying. I held her while she sobbed and my heart broke into pieces so small they'd never fit back together. That night, after Zara finally cried herself to sleep, I found Neil in the garage. He was destroying old boxes, ripping them apart with his bare hands. We could run, he said. Take her and disappear. We'd be arrested, and she'd be taken anyway. I don't care. I can't watch them take her. If we run, we lose her forever. At least this way, maybe we can stay in her life. As what? The people who lied to her about who she is? We didn't lie. We didn't know. But it felt like lying. Every day we'd told her she was ours. Every time we'd called her our daughter. All of it built on a foundation that was crumbling. The overnight visits started in week 3. Zara went to the Thatcher's house for Friday night. She clung to me when we dropped her off, begging to stay home. Simone looked gutted. David's jaw was tight with pain. Dr. Pierce had to physically pry Zara's fingers from my jacket. The house was too quiet without her. I stood in her room, holding Bun Bun that she'd left behind because she still preferred Bailey. The rabbit smelled old, like someone else's child. When we picked her up Saturday morning, Zara was subdued. How was it? I asked, trying to sound normal. Okay. They have a pool and a big yard. That sounds nice. But I missed you. And Bailey. And my room. She paused. Mrs. Thatcher kept calling me Arya. I told her my name is Zara, but she kept forgetting. She didn't keep forgetting. She was reclaiming her daughter. The visits increased to 2 nights, then 3. Each time, Zara came home a little more distant, a little more confused. After the 3rd overnight, she asked, Mama, do I have to live with them forever? We don't know yet, baby. But I want to live with you. I know. We want that too. But want didn't matter. The law mattered. And the law said she belonged to the Thatchers. In week 5, our lawyer called. The Thatchers are filing for full custody. The hearing is in 2 weeks. I need to be honest with you. The odds aren't good. What are our chances? Maybe 10%. You adopted her through fraud, even unknowingly. They're her biological parents who were victims of a crime. The court will side with them. So that's it? We just lose her? You can fight, but fighting might make things worse. Drag out the transition. Traumatize Zara more. And if we don't fight, you petition for visitation rights. Maybe the Thatchers agree to ongoing contact. Maybe they don't. So we beg them for permission to see our own daughter. She's not legally your daughter. She never was. I hung up and screamed. Just screamed until my throat was raw. Then I pulled myself together because Zara would be home in an hour and I couldn't fall apart in front of her. That night, David Thatcher called. Mrs. Holloway, I know this is hard, but I wanted to talk to you about the transition. Simone and I have been discussing it. What is there to discuss? You're taking her. We don't want to cut you out completely. We see how much Zara loves you. We're willing to agree to visitation. My heart jumped. Really? Once a month? Supervised. For a few hours? Once a month. After 4 years of every day. After being her mother in every way that mattered. That's not enough. It's what we're comfortable with. You've had 4 years with our daughter. We deserve time to rebuild our family without interference. Interference? I raised her. I'm her mother. You're not her mother. You're the woman who unknowingly received stolen property. His voice was cold. Be grateful we're offering anything at all. He hung up. I threw the phone across the room. It shattered against the wall. The custody hearing was worse than I'd imagined. The Thatchers' lawyer painted us as either criminally negligent or willfully ignorant, showed how we'd paid premium fees without questioning why, how we'd never asked to meet the birth mother, how we'd accepted a too-good-to-be-true situation because we were desperate. Our lawyer argued we'd been victims too, deceived by a sophisticated fraud operation, but the judge wasn't sympathetic. The issue before this court is simple. Who has the superior legal right to this child? The biological parents who never consented to adoption, or the adoptive parents whose adoption was based on fraud? He ruled from the bench. Custody is awarded to David and Simone Thatcher. The adoption is hereby vacated. Mrs. and Mr. Holloway will have supervised visitation once monthly for 2 hours. Once a month. 2 hours. After 4 years of being her mother. The Thatchers stood, relief flooding their faces. We sat frozen. It was over. The transition happened fast. Too fast. Zara had 1 week to say goodbye to her life with us. 1 week to pack up her room. 1 week before she moved to Pennsylvania with strangers. She didn't understand. Kept asking why she had to go. Why she couldn't stay with us. I had no answers that didn't break her heart more. The night before she left, I lay next to her in her bed. She was crying softly. Mama, will you forget me? Never. Never, baby. I could never forget you. What if I forget you? You won't. We'll still see each other once a month. That's not enough. I know. I pulled her closer. But wherever you are, whatever happens, you're my daughter. Always. Nothing can change that. The judge said I'm not. The judge is wrong. Being a mother isn't about biology or paperwork. It's about love. And I love you more than anything in this world. She cried herself to sleep in my arms. I stayed there all night, memorizing the weight of her, the sound of her breathing, the way she held Bunbun now because Bailey couldn't come with her. In the morning, the Thatchers came to pick her up. They were kind, promised to send photos, said we could call once a week. It wasn't enough, would never be enough, but it was all we'd get. Zara clung to me at the door. Please don't make me go. Please, Mama. I wanted to scream, to fight, to run. Instead, I kissed her forehead. You're going to be okay. The Thatchers love you so much, and we love you. That doesn't change. But I want to stay with you. I know, baby, I know. Simone knelt down, gentle. Arya, we have Bailey's brother at home. A puppy. He's waiting to meet you. Zara looked up at me. Bailey has a brother? He does, Simone said. And he misses his family just like we've missed you. Slowly, heartbreakingly, Zara let go of my hand and took Simone's. They walked to the car. Zara looked back once. Waved. I waved back, forcing a smile until they drove away. Then I collapsed. Neil caught me. We held each other and cried like our daughter had died. Because in a way she had. Zara was gone. Arya was going home. The first month was hell. 1 supervised visit at a neutral location. Zara, now Arya, was quieter, more withdrawn. She hugged me but didn't cling. Talked about her new school, her new dog, her new room. Called Simone Mom once, then corrected herself. Apologized to me. That apology broke something that hadn't already been broken. The social worker monitoring our visit said this was normal. She's adjusting. Building attachment to her biological parents. It's healthy. Healthy for whom? Not for us. Not for Zara, who looked confused and sad even as she described her new life. By month 3, the visits got easier and harder simultaneously. Zara seemed more settled, happier, less torn. She called the Thatchers mom and dad without correcting herself, talked about home and meant Pennsylvania. We were becoming the people she used to live with, the ones she saw once a month for 2 hours. After 6 months, Simone called. Arya's therapist thinks the monthly visits are disrupting her progress, reminding her of the past when she needs to focus on the present. What are you saying? I already knew. We think it's best if we take a break from visits. Let her fully integrate into our family. You're cutting us off. Just temporarily. Maybe in a year, when she's more stable. You promised we could stay in her life. And we kept that promise. For 6 months. But our daughter's well-being comes first. She's my daughter too. No, she's not. She never was. Simone hung up. That was it. No more visits, no more calls, no more Zara. I called our lawyer. He said we could fight, but it would take months and probably fail. The Thatchers had full custody. They could restrict visitation at their discretion. We had no rights. A year passed. We sent cards on Zara's birthday. Christmas. Never got responses. Didn't know if she even received them. Our lives became a ghost story. The house was too big, too quiet. We left Zara's room exactly as it was. Sometimes I'd sit in there and just breathe. Tried to remember what it felt like to be her mother. Then, 18 months after Zara left, our doorbell rang. I opened it and my heart stopped. Zara, 14 years old, tall, beautiful, alone. "Hi," she said. Her voice was uncertain. "I know I'm not supposed to be here, but I had to see you." "How did you get here?" "Bus. I told my parents I was going to a friend's house." She paused. "I've been planning this for months. I should have called the Thatchers immediately. Should have sent her home. Instead, I pulled her into my arms and held her while she cried. "I remember you," she whispered. "I tried to forget, tried to move on. But I remember. You're my mom too." We sat in the living room. She told me about her life with the Thatchers. It was good. They loved her, gave her everything. But there was a hole where we'd been. "They told me you didn't want to see me anymore," Zara said. "That you'd moved on. We sent cards, tried to call. They cut us off." Her face hardened. "They lied. They said you abandoned me." "Never. We wanted you every single day." We talked for 3 hours. She asked about Bailey, who died the previous year, cried when I told her, asked about her old room. I showed her. She stood in the doorway, taking it in. "You kept everything." I couldn't let go. She turned, tears streaming. "I don't know who I am anymore. Aria, Zara, theirs, yours. I feel like I'm two different people and neither one is complete. You're both. You get to be both." The Thatchers won't see it that way. When they find out I came here, they'll be furious. Then don't tell them. It was wrong. I knew it was wrong. But I didn't care. She visited twice more over the next month. Secret meetings, stolen time. Each visit she seemed lighter. More herself. Then Simone called. "I know Zara's been seeing you. She's been lying to us, sneaking behind our backs. She needs us. We're part of her life whether you like it or not. You're the past. We're her family. She can have both. Not according to our therapist, not according to the court order. If you contact her again, I'm filing a restraining order. You can't keep her from us forever. Watch me." Click. Zara came one more time. I told her we had to stop. "They're going to file legal action. We could lose the chance to ever see you again. I don't care. I need you. I need you too, but not like this. Not by breaking the law and making things worse." She cried. I cried. We held each other and said goodbye again. She left and I thought that was it. The final ending. But 3 months later, on her 15th birthday, I got a letter. "Dear Mama," it started. My heart broke and healed at the same time. She told me she'd talked to her therapist. Explained how she needed both families. How cutting us off was hurting her. The Thatchers agreed to supervised visits again. Once a month, 2 hours. It's not enough, but it's something. And when I turn 18, I can make my own choices. 3 more years. I can wait 3 more years if you can. I wrote back immediately. Yes, I could wait. I would wait forever if I had to. The visits resumed. Awkward at first. A social worker watching every interaction. But slowly, month by month, we rebuilt. Found a new normal. Not what we'd lost. Something different. Something possible. When Zara turned 18, she came to us first. "I'm splitting my time, half with them, half with you. They don't like it, but I don't care. You're both my parents. They don't get to decide anymore." She chose a college near us. Had Sunday dinners with the Thatchers and Wednesday dinners with us. Built a life that included both families, messy and complicated and real. At her college graduation, we all sat together. Neil and me, David and Simone. All of us crying as she crossed the stage. She'd listed both sets of parents in the program. The Thatchers tried to object. She told them to grow up. I lost 4 years with one family and 11 years with another. I'm done losing time. You're all my family and you're going to deal with it. Standing there, watching our daughter, who wasn't legally ours but would always be ours in every way that mattered, I understood something. Motherhood isn't about biology or law. It's about love. And love doesn't vanish because a judge says it should. 7 years after a detective knocked on our door and destroyed our world, Zara called us with news. She was pregnant. We were going to be grandparents. All 4 of us. The Thatchers and us. She'd already decided the baby would know all of them. Because family, she said, isn't about who has the right paperwork. It's about who shows up. And you all showed up, even when it was impossible. The day her daughter was born, we all stood around her hospital bed. 2 sets of parents who'd fought over her, now united by a tiny new life. Zara looked at me and smiled. "I want you in the delivery room, you and Simone. Both my moms." So we stood on either side of her. Both of us crying, both of us holding her hands, both of us mothers. And when that baby was born and Zara put her in my arms, she said, "I'm naming her after you, because you were my mother when I needed one most." The Thatchers lost 4 years with their daughter. We lost 11. Everyone paid a price for Monica Vale's crimes. But we all showed up. We all fought for Zara when she couldn't fight for herself. And in the end, that's what mattered. Not the law, not biology, not custody agreements, just love. Persistent, imperfect, complicated love. That detective had been right. Zara had been reported missing by her biological parents, but she'd also been found by us. And somehow, impossibly, she'd ended up with 2 families instead of 1. It wasn't the ending anyone planned, but it was ours, and it was enough.